Okay, well, with that, let's go ahead and jump in. Everyone, thanks for coming by today. Welcome to our presentation today. That's all about text message marketing and how to leverage it in the HVAC space and how it fits into a lot of industry-wide changes that we're seeing. It's been a weird year. And so we're having to try some different things to, stay on track with revenue goals and growth goals. And what I'm going to pitch to you today is that text message marketing is really a powerful tool to have in the toolbox as you continue this year towards those goals. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, I always like to begin every presentation with just kind of showing where, I cover a different topic every month. So I always like to position it within the overall picture of online marketing for HVAC. And in this case, we're going to be deep diving all today on text message marketing, but it's just one component part to what is overall what's needed to really dominate in your service area as a residential HVAC company. It really begins with having a conversion focused website that can convert a high number of visitors into customers. It includes having a strong SEO posture so people are able to find you when their AC goes out and are in urgent need of your services. It includes having a strong strategy when it comes to paid ads for both Google PPC and local services. It includes repeat and referral plays like social media management. And today at number 6, customer database really is where we're going to focus in. Now, this includes text message and email marketing, but we're going to dive even deeper and focus just specifically on text message marketing there. And then just to round out kind of the digital dominance plan, review management, and constantly building towards a world-class reputation within your service area. So you can see that all of this together is what results in true, dominance in your service area. But today we're going to be very specifically focused on text message marketing. So before we dive in, as always, guys, I just like to lay some of the basic ground rules. And so I'm basically going to ask that, I've done a lot of prep for this, and I'm excited to share a lot of cutting edge strategies when it comes to text message marketing. But I just ask that for this session, let's turn off the cell phones, turn off Facebook, and if you're really serious about improving your HVAC business through the use of text message marketing, like let's dial in for the next 30 to 45 minutes. Today will be a bit of a shorter session than normal, but my promise to you is if you'll give me your attention, I'll provide you with some really actionable steps that you can take towards really leveraging text message marketing in your HVAC business. So for those that don't know me, my name is Alex Van Leeuwen, and I'm the founder of HVAC Marketers. And what's important to know is I've had the privilege of working with tons of HVAC companies across the country in order to get their online marketing dialed in right. And that way they can really maximize their profits and increase lead flow through the internet. So what you should know is this is what we do, right? We are a full service marketing agency that specifically serves the HVAC industry. And I just want to throw it out there is you're going through this session and we're talking about text message marketing. If you're thinking, hey, this is something that maybe I just want Alex and his team to just cover and tackle for us, but we'd be totally open to that conversation and would love to help. So you can reach out to me or our team directly and schedule time to meet. But I like to begin with that and then follow by saying that's not the point of today's session. This isn't going to be a 30 to 45-minute sales pitch. This is going to be very actionable instructions on how to implement text message marketing, sharing some of the best practices that I've learned through doing this with many other HVAC companies, and really challenging you to take early action and implement this. So that's kind of the positioning where we're coming in today. So let's talk about the problem. So I teased it a little bit at the beginning of the session. Um, Really, what we're facing is unusual market conditions. So, oops. There we go. My slide's a little slow. So we're facing unusual market conditions, right? You're not alone. We're seeing this coast to coast, all over the country. Demand is lower. Buyers are more hesitant. When it comes to opting for more higher dollar fixes and swap outs, they really have more of the mindset of let's just keep this thing going and keep the system going until it absolutely is broken and we have to make a new decision. Nothing, we're not seeing as many preventative decisions as, even a year, 2 years ago. That's really changed. And of course, ads are extremely expensive, and every single year it's getting more expensive to bring leads in through the door. So just to drive this point home, here's just one example of how demand has fluctuated. So this is looking at the total search volume of the keyword air conditioning repair in the US. And this is looking over a 12-month period. So we'll see in July of 2022, roughly 65,000 searches for that term, compared to now, where we've really nosedived down to less than half of that volume, which is really interesting. So it just drives home the point that it's a strange season, and demand is in a weird place. And so, that really creates an opportunity for us. And that opportunity is, when it comes to anything in life, through the challenging times, through adversity, there's always opportunity to take advantage of new strategies, try new things, and really separate yourself, from your competition within your service area. And that's just what the opportunity is that we're going to talk about today. So, what I want to propose is, encouraging you to generate enough book jobs using your current database to hit your targets and keep your trucks running. And I really am gonna reposition, our mindset towards maximizing the average lifetime value of your customer list. So this is really key. And to pause on this for a moment, if you think of every single customer that's in your customer list, at some point you paid to acquire that customer, whether it was through a Google ad, whether it was through SEO, whether it was direct mail, whether it was someone in your team sitting in a BNI meeting on a Thursday morning and passing out cards. Doesn't matter what it is. Every single name in your customer list, you have paid to acquire. So the reason that's important to it's important to look at it that way, because if we can implement strategies that maximize and increase the lifetime value of those customers you've already worked to acquire, all the better, and all the better return that you're going to receive on that initial investment of acquiring that customer. So with that, I think we sort of set the stage as to today's session, and I'm going to go over the agenda for today. So our plan for the workshop, I'm going to tell you how simple it is to book extra jobs every week by implementing text message marketing, and even further, why it's truly a no-brainer for every single HVAC company that has a list of at least 2,000 customers. I'm going to share literally the exact messaging that we text out to customers that you can swipe and deploy on your own. We're going to discuss some considerations when it comes to staying compliant with your text message marketing. It's a bit of its own animal, so to speak, and it has its own compliance concerns. So we're going to discuss that and some recent changes. I'm going to share some best practices that we have found in helping other HVAC companies deploy text message marketing, and really what's resulted in the most successful campaigns. And then as a bonus at the end, if you hang with me through the end of the session, through the end of the recording, I'm gonna share some of the offers that work best throughout the year and how to plug those into your text message marketing. So lots to cover. I'm gonna keep barreling through here, and let's dive in. So number one, This is simple. So I've said in the past, I did a session one time on local services ads, and I really preached that local services ads is a no-brainer for residential HVAC companies because there's good ROI. So on and so forth. We won't rehash that session. You can watch the replay on our website or on our YouTube channel. But if that is a no-brainer, text message marketing is even more of a no-brainer. I mean, and for many reasons. So we'll jump into it. The first one, you don't have to spend any ad dollars, right? That's a huge plus. I know many of you out there spending $3, $5, $10, $15,000 every single month on PPC, on local services ads. With this play, you don't have to spend any ad dollars. Two, again, just a mindset shift if you're not already thinking like this. Your previous customers are your best future customers. So just let that sink in for a moment. Every customer that's on your list, they've already demonstrated that they at times have need for your services and that they're willing to buy from you and they trust you. Where could you find more qualified customers than your list? So that's really important to keep in mind. Speaking of mind, you're able to stay top of mind. So you're going to send text messages out to your customers, and the vast majority of them on that day are not going to take you up on your coupon or not going to take you up on your service, but you've planted a seed in their mind. And with text message marketing, you have positioned your company in front of your customer in a way they haven't seen it before, meaning through the text message app on their phone. They're used to seeing you online. They're used to maybe seeing billboards, radio, TV, direct mail, all that. So this is yet another channel, again, that you're not spending ad dollars on or not paying any money for, except for, just the carrier rates that we'll discuss in a minute. And you're able to stay top of mind with your customers so that when you reach out to them at a later date, they're more inclined to do business with you. You can also reach your customers that are phone hesitant, as I like to say. So especially the younger generations, and I'll throw myself in that ring. I'm one that is, prefers to pick up the phone, but I'd say maybe I'm the exception. There's a lot of your customers, a lot of your really good customers are ones that are not going to be inclined to call you at any point in time. So by giving them a venue to communicate with your business via text, you're more likely to actually book those customers in when they don't want to pick up the phone and call. And lastly, you can easily throttle up or throttle down depending on your needs. So similar to Google ads, local services ads, where you can kind of on a dime, you can ramp up or ramp down. This works very much in the same way. So that's a bit on why this is just a simple no-brainer, marketing channel, text message marketing. So let's talk about the data a little bit, and I'm going to draw a comparison between email marketing, which I think probably most of you are doing now, some form or at least have in the past tried email marketing, and I'm going to draw a comparison there. So let's just compare these two. When it comes to open rates, so if you send out 100 messages via email, 20 of those 100, if you're lucky, are going to be opened. That's something that has become more difficult every day, is email deliverability. Now compare that to SMS, text message, where you're going to get an open rate of over 98%. I mean, there's just no comparison. As we look at competition, so we use two terms, blue ocean and red ocean. Blue ocean meaning that there's few competitors. I don't know about each and every one of you, but for me, there are a few businesses. I'm trying to think, like my laundromat, I think is maybe the only one that's local to me that collected my phone number through their new customer process, and from time to time do send me out offers and I engage with them. But it's not a channel that's flooded by other businesses, right? Where it's more of a personal channel. Compare that to email. Email, you're fighting all day long to get through the email channel. I mean, we put in here the average office worker received 121 emails, by the end of today, and it's just very difficult to stand out in email. Let's see the response rate. This is what ultimately matters, right? So if people see the message, like we're looking at open rate, that's a leading indicator of how effective it is. But response rate, how many people are actually replying back to you? We're seeing almost half of the people through SMS text message marketing replying to our messages. Compare that to only 6% email, and again, 6% being pretty generous on the email side. And then response time, people are responding quicker to text messages than email. I think that pretty much goes without saying. So you can see two text channels, like we're not talking live on the phone. It's not video. It's none of that. It's a text channel where we're sending text, but one through email, one through SMS, and the results are dramatically better on the SMS side. So with that, I want to kind of open. I like to make the business case, especially if this is something that you've never done before, if you've never done any SMS marketing. So I'm going to shift over here to my other screen. And we put together this calculator for you guys. And this is an interesting deal. So let's just toy around with this for a moment. So there's basically three variables when it comes to text message marketing. There's how big is your list? There is what's your average ticket amount, and then there is how many. It's basically in your office, your dispatch team, whoever, what percent of interested people are they able to close? So I'll walk you through an example so this makes a little more sense. So let's just say that your HVAC business, you pull up, Service Titan, Field Edge, and you've got 5,000 people in your list. And then I'm going to punch in here a $400 average ticket. You got to think, because when it comes to text message marketing, what really works well is sending out special offers. And we're going to get into that in more detail. But there's going to be a certain amount of people that will only, they'll pay the $129 tune-up special, and that's going to be it. And then there's going to be a certain percentage of customers that you go to their home for the tune-up special, and that turns into a larger service. And then there's going to be a percent that turn into installs. So I know it's always a rough number to back into, like what is that average ticket? So I'm going to use $400. I know many of you will say, Alex, my average ticket's way higher than this, and that's the best case scenario. But we'll try to be conservative and say $400 average ticket. You can already see what's happening here with the math. So that means, and the data that we've collected, we're seeing about 4.7% of people that are sent, offers via text message marketing are responding and saying, yes, absolutely, I want this service. I want this coupon. When can you book me in? So again, trying to be conservative with these numbers, but that's what that essentially means. So if that's the case, then out of your list of 5,000, that means you're getting 235 people that are raising their hands and saying, yes, Alex, Joe, Sam, whoever, I want to get booked in for this service. So then the question is, okay, what percent of those positive responses is your team able to close? When they, what percent actually get booked into the calendar? And I hear this number can really vary. I mean, some people say, 90%, 50%, but you can toy around with this number, and let's say it's only 50%. All of a sudden, you're unlocking $47,000 of revenue from your existing customer database via text message marketing without spending a dime on ads. So that's where you can see that text message marketing can really start to make sense. And if you are one of those shops that has, 8,000 in your list and your average ticket is 450 and you think you can close 60% of the leads, now you're a tick over 100,000. So play around with this calculator and plug in your list. If you would like a copy of this, you can reach out. I think I actually have the link. Yeah, if you'd like a copy of this, you can just simply reply back to one of the emails that I sent out to, inviting you to this sequence. Or if you're watching the replay, you can just use the chat widget on our website and just say, hey, Alex, I'd like to get the SMS marketing calculator, and we'll get that over to you. But that really just goes to show just how effective SMS marketing can be at extracting more value out of your existing customer list. Like it's super powerful. So that is the business case. And I'm just kind of reshifting everything back around. Whoops. So that's the business case. Now let's talk about that. That's a lot of the why. Let's get into the how. Like let's talk about what exactly we're sending out and what does the messaging look like? How often are we sending texts? So let's dive into that a bit. So the thing that's important to remember with when you're getting started with text message marketing is this is for most going to be a new channel. So with a new channel comes new messaging. So you don't want to think about sending a text message the same way you would think about sending an email. And we kind of coined this term that text messages, they need to use the SPY approach. So they need to be short. They need to be personal, right? Because we're contacting our customers on a personal channel, text messages. That's where they're used to texting, texting their wife that, they're gonna, I don't know, run by the grocery store on the way home, whatever. It's a very personal channel compared to email, let's say. So short, personal, and intriguing. So the whole goal when it comes to that first text message that we're going to send out is we want to be intriguing. We want to get hands raised. That means people are curious about the offer, curious about what we're sending them, and then they respond. That's the whole goal. Short, personal, intriguing. So I'm going to give you an example. So if you can see this here, this is an actual text message that we send out to, that we do this for our clients, and this is one of our more effective ones. So, hey Joe, it's Alex from Acme Air. We have a few remaining coupons for summer season tune-ups. Would you be interested? So let me point out a couple of things there. So we're talking about SPY, short, personal, intriguing. So short, I would go no longer than this text message. You'll be surprised if you try to copy text that you've sent out in an email and send it out via text message, you'll be surprised how long that bubble gets in your iPhone or your Android. So you want to keep it very short, no longer than this. Personal, we're addressing the customer by name. That's easy. Hey, Joe. But what's also important, and what I would also highly, highly encourage you to do, is say who the message is coming from. So in this case, is Alex from Acme Air, or like, let's say, especially if you want to put your name in as the owner and your company has your name, it can be really powerful to say, hey, this is Alex Van Leeuwen from Van Leeuwen Air, or, whatever. And that just indicates to your customer, like, oh, this is the owner that's reaching out to me. And that can be really powerful because it's personal. So short, personal, and intriguing. So we have a few coupons remaining for summer season 2 coupons. Would you be interested? So that's an intriguing message for a couple of reasons. First, nowhere in there do we mention the details of the offer. We say it's a summer season tune-up, but we don't say the cost. We don't say what's included. It's also intriguing. You'll notice we have a few remaining coupons. So creating a bit of scarcity and giving your customer a reason to respond now, act now, and say, yeah, I guess I would take, if you've got a couple of coupons remaining, I would take one. So short, personal, intriguing. I'll keep hammering that home. And then we don't want to overdo it with the text messages, because again, it is a personal channel. People are not used to doing business on text message, via text message. So the last thing you want to do is send a million texts to your customers and then they get really turned off to your brand, and there's a reputational risk there. So what we do is we send out that initial message, and then we have a 28-hour waiting period where 28 hours later, because we don't want the response to go out exactly 24 hours after, because then it starts to feel more automated, and then you're losing that personal touch in the spy approach. So 28 hours later, we're sending just a very gentle follow-up. So yeah, it looks like the name got cut off in this demo, but it would say, hey, Joe, just checking back to see if you'd be interested in a coupon for summer season tune-up. Should I save one for you? So again, super personal. Yeah. And then we leave it at that. So we're sending total of 2 messages in an automated way. So really simple, guys. So I'm trying to convey that this is a simple, actionable strategy that you can deploy and really get a lot of value from your current customer list. So with that, I'm going to show some real world examples. So in the system that, there's multiple systems that you can use for text message marketing. You probably have some, you may have a tool right now that you can use, maybe a Podium or what, doesn't matter. You can adopt this to any system. We have our own system that we use for this, that we deploy for our clients. And just to show some results here, like as customers reply, they're moved through this little task board in here, and you'll see that there's a certain amount that respond positive, and then they need some attention. So maybe they replied, if we go back here, hey, Joe, it's Alex from Acme Air. We have a few remaining coupons for tune-ups. Would you be interested? And then Joe replies, yeah, I'd be interested, or yeah, when can you come out? Then that lead is getting moved into responded positive. And then your dispatch team, your office staff, whoever it is going in and booking these leads. So you'll see here, a very healthy pipeline just coming from text message marketing with 33,000 closed in business. So really, this is a super powerful tool. So hopefully that gives you an understanding of how these texts go out, how they should feel, and the actual workflow of it. So using automation to send out the text messages, waiting for those positive responses to come in, and then having your team work those leads, get them booked into the schedule, and do it all without spending on ads. Like, it's really effective. I do want to cover today, just very briefly, a regulatory component. So in the last month, really, some new rules have gone into effect that you should be aware of if you're playing the text message marketing game, which you should be playing the text message marketing game. So there's a new rule that came out. It's referred to as A2P, application to person, DLC 10. Long story short, what happened was the carriers all came together and wanted to put their heads together and figure out how to slow down spam text messages, like true spam texts. And basically what was the result of that is this new compliance mechanism where in order to send text messages out from an application like we're doing here, so like using a tool to automatically send out texts, you have to have that basically linked to your business EIN, business name, and basically go through a very high level of approval by the carriers. And well, let's see here. Yeah. So what's required? So some business information that needs to get rubber stamped with approval, just basically saying, hey, this is like a known entity that's sending out these text messages. And then you also submit your messages for review. So that way there's some record of what you're actually trying to send out to your customer list. And again, just making sure that it's just the carrier's attempt to really put a boot on the spam messages that are becoming more prolific. So there are some hoops that need to be jumped through here. Like for our clients, this is something that we're just doing behind the scenes and just gets taken care of. If you're handling this on your own, definitely go to Google and type in A2P DLC10. I know it's like very robotic, but type that in, do a little bit of research, and make sure that you've taken the necessary steps to get approval that's required to do this. If you don't, essentially what happens is over the next, I think it's basically a month from today, your messages that are going out are going to start slowly getting blocked until ultimately like most of them get blocked. So you won't be able to reach your customers. So this is an important step. And it's a boring step, but it's important. I'm definitely not if you've been on these sessions before, there's no silver bullet kind of approach when it comes to marketing in general, business in general. So with the really good, which this is, there's always some hoops that need to be jumped through, and that's an important one there. So let's move on to some of the best practices around text message marketing. And really how to set yourself up for success here. So as I mentioned before, ideally, you could do this with a list size of one. You could send out one text message, but I'm not sure that it would be quite worth the time to do that. So what we're finding is the best success are coming from 2,000 plus lists, and basically the more the better, right? So if you have more customers in your list, if you plug it into that calculator, you're going to end up getting a higher return, more revenue from this practice. So list size of over 2,000, and then rotate offers quarterly based on the season. So what's meant here is, as I mentioned before, text message marketing is a powerful but delicate channel to reach your customers with. We want to use it, but we don't want to overuse it. And that's why I really recommend thinking about this in 90-day intervals. So basically doing 4 offers per year and send them out to your customer list with the seasonality. Like definitely don't send a furnace coupon offer out now. Like, use what makes sense. But that prevents your customers from being, bombarded by your messaging and prevents, reputational risk as much as possible. So that's really what I recommend in terms of timing. And then don't share the offers, the detail until you get hands raised. So you'll notice in that message that I sent, and I explained it then, you don't see a dollar value in the offer. You don't see really specific details of the offer, because if, let's say you sent out an initial text message that said, hey, we have a coupon for a summer tune-up and it's $129 and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. They have then all the information they need to make a decision right there. And it's easier to say no. Whereas if you leave a little bit of intrigue and interest and don't give the details of the offer, and then you get a hand raised, that's when you can rely on your team to, respond back and close that deal, or immediately call the lead, even better, and get them booked in. So that would be that. We're finding that the campaigns are working better when the customer has to ask for more details. And then I recommend, this will vary a bit depending on what CRM you're using, but what we do for our clients is just buy a new local phone number. It's super cheap, and it just keeps from interfering with other tracking numbers that you have in place or your main line. So what we'll do is we'll buy a new local number and then have all inbound calls forwarded to the main line. So if you're using like a Service Titan, you can easily deploy this great. If not, there's tools that you can use like Twilio, CallRail. There's a bunch of other ones that you can use in order to just set up a new phone number. Because what will happen is a certain percent of your customers will receive a text message and they'll be interested and then they'll call in. So you want to make sure that you're able to track those customers that just call in and end up getting booked from the text message marketing campaign, even if they never respond via text message. And I want to encourage you to have someone on your team own this. That's not you. So use the owner. Do not own this. Delegate this. Understand it and be a part of picking what offers to use and how many text messages per day need to be sent out, and keeping your eye on the reporting. But definitely don't own this yourself. Delegate this to your team. And to that note, make sure that you're communicating the campaign to your whole team. So what we have found is when the whole company is not aware of the text message campaign, what can happen, because it is so personal, is people, you may have a tech out at someone's house, and a tech is at Susie's house, and Susie receives a text message there and asks your tech like, hey, Mike sent me a text about a summer tune-up offer. What's that all about? And the tech's like, I have no idea. And Mike's actually on vacation. I don't know how he would have texted you that. It can create some weird experiences for your customers. So it's just better. It's better to communicate to your whole team what is happening. Like, hey, we're sending out some text messages and they're coming from me or the owner. They're coming from Susie or Sam or whoever, and we're offering X or we're offering Y. That just keeps everyone on the same page. That way, if techs are in the field and getting questions, or if someone just happens to call in on the main line and gets questioned or ask questions, everyone knows what's going on. So creates a much more seamless experience. So thanks for hanging with me and here until the end. We've got just one more section. This is the quick bonus that I promised. So some proven offers that have worked well through text message marketing. So one thing to keep in mind is you want to use offers that generate their own demand. And what I mean by that is, let me actually give you a negative example to drive this home. So let's say you're sending text messages out to your customers. You leave today excited and ready to go, and you get it set up and you send that first text message, and you decide to use an offer on installs or installs or service. Those are like the obvious ones. So let's say you decided to do an offer on installs. Well, especially in this climate where we're seeing people very hesitant to do installs, it's unlikely that you sending a text message to your customers with an offer on installs is going to be the thing that spurs them to say, you know what, I'm going to spend $7,000 on a new install because I received this text message today. That's probably not what's going to happen. Probably what's going to happen is they're going to have the system completely go out, or, it's going to take something like that. And then they're just going to call in your main line. So, and same is true with service offers. They can work, but what we find works better is offers that generate their own demand. So that's why I've been referencing today, like tune-up offers, summer tune-up, winter tune-up, because for the consumer, typically there's no real action that triggers the consumer to think, oh, I need to have preventative maintenance done on my HVAC system, right? So then when you send out that text message with the offer, that in and of itself can be the cue. And it can, if your customer receives that text, they can go, you know what? I haven't had that system looked at in 2 years. This is, if this is a good offer, probably this makes sense to, I know my system is 10 years old, and if they can come do it and it's $100 or whatever, I'll have them come look at it. Hopefully that makes sense. So use offers that generate their own demand. Like here's another example. Like sometimes we've seen smart thermostat offers work well for, people like, oh, I never really considered a smart TSTEP, but what does it do? And just another excuse to get in the house, or filter replacements can be effective. Another kind of let's see, another offer that I have for you guys today is a whole list of offers. My offer is offers, essentially. So there's a link here that you can go to and you can download or you can screenshot, just this whole list here of offers. And you can use these through text message marketing. You can use them for any kind of coupons, but this just kind of gets the gears turning in your mind. But again, for text message marketing, I'd really recommend trying to think of offers that create their own demand. So take a moment, and again, I always want these sessions to result in action and then progress. So what were the big takeaways from today? Are you doing text message marketing now, but you feel you can improve upon it? Or have you never done this, but now you're thinking, wow, looking at that calculator, I'm probably leaving a lot of money on the table, and I should implement text message marketing. No matter where you are, you can think about how to improve where you are today and do it through text message marketing. So jot that down and then really think through what you plan to implement over the next 30 days. And just as a quick recap, as you're jotting the notes down, I'll try to help a little bit. What we talked about today, truly, it's so simple to deploy text message marketing and book more jobs every week by doing so. I shared the exact messaging that we text out to customers, so feel free to grab that, use it on your own. We talked about the regulatory compliance piece that you should be aware of. And if you have questions on that, feel free to reach out to me or my team, and we can offer some guidance on that. Shared some of the best practices to having a successful text message campaign. And then I also shared some of those offers that you can swipe and deploy and use on your own. So that is it, guys. That is text message marketing. I went a little bit longer than I was planning, but hopefully there's some good golden nuggets in there that you can take and really give a little more predictability to what's been a very strange year. If you have questions about what we covered today, or you're saying, maybe I just want Alex and his team to do this for me, and let's get it going this week. Go to our website and feel free to schedule a session. The session will be with me, and we can look at exactly the size of your list and your service area and develop a plan for implementing text message marketing into your HVAC business. And here's just my personal information, so feel free to take that down. And if I can help in any way, that's always my goal on these sessions, is just to be a valuable resource to you HVAC owners as you grow and scale your businesses, having a bigger, resulting in a bigger impact on your community, leaving a family legacy, so on and so forth. That is always the goal. So I'll wrap there. Thank you all so much for hanging with me till the end. It's been a great session, and I look forward to seeing you next month on the next session. Take care.